What's up everybody, Moto again. Today's going to be a pretty quick video for the Vulcan S. We're just swapping out the levers with these from womet-tech. Inside the box you'll find the levers themselves and an instruction manual. These are adjustable shorty levers, all built construction, produced in Poland. Tools you're going to need for today's job: a common head screwdriver, a 10mm combination wrench, and a 10mm socket. Alright, so our first step is to remove the factory levers. We'll start with the brake side. Alright, so down here, just remove the 10mm nut. It's going to come loose pretty easy. Then up top, we'll remove this common headed screw. What I like to do to keep from marring up the paint on the screw is just slip your screwdriver into a Ziploc bag. That thin layer of plastic will keep it from making direct contact with the paint, keep from scratching it up. Okay, so once that common headed bolt's removed from the top, the factory lever will slide right out. Okay, so this next step is incredibly important. Make sure you don't overlook it. We need to take some grease and grease any of the contact surfaces on the lever. We also need to grease the bolt that we removed earlier. I'm using some basic lubriplate. Use what you like. This is what I had on hand, but this will work pretty well. Alright, so I went ahead and added a little more grease to the lever, thinned out where the big blotches were. It's probably too much on there, honestly. But you need to put some anywhere there's going to be metal-to-metal contact. And this is incredibly simple. You just slide the lever into position, drop the pin in. I have to wiggle it around just a little bit, and there you go. So start your threads by hand. I always do that. I always give it a quick couple turns back to make sure I'm not cross-threading. Then we'll run that screw up. Same deal, Ziploc bag on the common screwdriver. Run it up. Get it good and snug. It doesn't have to be world-endingly tight. Readjust my bag here. There we go. Give it one good firm turn there. Check to make sure the lever's operating. Then we're going to secure, focus, there we go, 10mm nut on the bottom. The next step will be to test the lever to make sure that our brakes are engaging properly and that the brake light works properly. Okay, so the next step is going to be pretty difficult unless you have very thin walled sockets. But there's a 10mm nut located here on the bottom of the pin for the clutch lever. It's going to be pretty tight to get in there, so what you can do, that's why you got the combination wrench along, slip the combination wrench over the nut. There's very little wiggle room, but this isn't tight. Then take screwdriver, something you have, slide it through the box end, get the wrench on there, and give it a slight turn. But once you've got the 10mm nut off the back side, this will slide right out. And you need to take this, back it off a little bit. Try not to lose where your engagement or the adjustment was. You're probably going to have to adjust it either way, but I'll save you a lot of time. Pull out on it. Twist as you're coming out. Turn it so that the cable, this is very difficult to do with the camera between me and the there we go. So back to the workbench. We need this insert here. Should come out pretty easily. Just give it a little push. Should slide right out. once you have the insert free, put a little dab of grease around it and just push it into the new lever, just like so. So just like with the brake lever, we need to grease anywhere that's going to have metal to metal contact. Just put a decent amount, don't have to gob it on there, nothing to it. So installation of the clutch lever is just reverse of the disassembly. Just feed the end of the clutch cable into the lever. You may have to just kind of remember where your clutch was set before. You're still going to have to adjust it slightly, but you may have to run this in, give yourself enough slack to be able to feed the cable through. Once it's fed in, just twist the lever, push it into place, and then drop your bolt in to lock it in place. So once you have your clutch adjusted, just make sure to run this back up. That's what's going to keep the adjustment from going out. The last step here will be to put that 10mm nut back on the bottom. So with your initial adjustment on your clutch lever, just make sure there's a small amount of play in the lever itself without pulling this cable tense. To check the brakes, turn the key, make sure that the tail light comes on, but the brake light doesn't come on until you depress the lever. Also, make sure that your front wheel, and this is the most important part, make sure your front wheel is turning freely with the lever open. If you have any drag there, that means your brakes are engaging and you've got a problem. Alright, so that's going to wrap it up for this one. Like I said, pretty simple, pretty quick, not much to it. You do need to make sure you do everything correct on this. Missteps on installing levers usually result in accidents or at least some damage to the bike. And I can't stress this enough, please avoid the cheapo levers that you find on Amazon and eBay. It's not worth it. A $30 lever, you're going to get what you pay for. This is your life. This one lever here. If that malfunctions, that breaks, and believe it or not, it can, and more often you would think, you could get yourself killed. It's not worth saving a little bit of money to put something cheap on your bike. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Hope you're enjoying the new paint job. This is a custom blend of mandarin orange candy. I'm liking it. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe.